Ever wonder why life can be habitual, repetitive, and cyclical? Why you date the same person even though they look different on the outside? Why you self-sabotage? Why you experience recurring situations? Meet the same people every day that irritate you? And even why you fall back into addictions no matter how hard you try? There is an explanation for all of this. Stay tuned. The reason is because we carry this vast storehouse of memories, thought patterns, beliefs, programs, and data that operate unconsciously, and they appear without our permission. But there is a way out. The first step is understanding how we accumulate this data in our subconscious. Secondly, how to approach our karma consciously. And thirdly, how we can dissolve this bondage by rewriting our mental software, letting go of the data, and distancing ourselves from it. And here's how we accumulate data in our subconscious. This living process is constant and relentless, and it's happening 24/7. So becoming aware of it is our first step towards gaining true freedom. Every thought we think, every word we speak, every action we take, every mental fluctuation you have has a chemical basis. This chemical basis creates a sensation known as a feeling. These sensations in turn reinforce the chemical reaction and strengthens and amplifies our mental fluctuations, creating a self-reinforcing loop which we call self-sabotage. So the very way we think is the very way we feel and the way we perceive and the way we experience. It's a seamless connection. Everything we do on the physical and mental levels leaves an imprint on us, and these imprints shape our perception. So what we see, hear, smell, touch, and taste and experience through our five senses are influenced by this data. But it also works in reverse. Our five senses are continuously gathering information from the external world every moment of our lives. We are being bombarded with sensory input constantly. And it's not just social media or what we watch on our smartphones and TVs. It encompasses everything, whether animate or inanimate, that we come into contact with. Over time, this huge volume of sense impressions begins to assume a distinctive pattern within us. This pattern slowly molds into behavioral tendencies and solidifies into what we call a personality, a limited self-concept. We unconsciously react to situations and people based on this internal blueprint, which shapes how we look at ourselves, the world, our relationships, our finances, and health. Over time, this blueprint becomes a set of habits, an orientation to life deeply embedded in our subconscious, influencing our attitudes and worldviews. We operate within this realm of low-frequency fear, which causes us to compulsively look for external validation and safety in situations and others. We stay confused because we're not seeing clearly. We're disturbed by these inner charges and disturbances that we incorrectly attribute to some external situation or person. We are not at ease. Humans are psychosomatic beings, meaning what we hold in the mind becomes imprinted on our bodies and reflected in the external world and our life experiences. Because of these repetitive judgments we have gathered, we feel unsafe, unloved, anxious, and out of control. We think, feel, and believe we are not okay, and this causes us to look for fulfillment in externals. Even after we get what we desire, it doesn't settle us. The quality of our mind directly influences the quality of our life experience. It's absolutely crucial to understand that this living repository of data is complex and exists on levels that we are not always aware of. In fact, our conscious mind, our intellect, is only aware of 15 bits of information out of 11 million bits of information. We are simply not aware of the numerous programs running in the operating system of our minds. So, what is the way out? The way out is to take 100% responsibility for your state of mind at all times. This is about becoming the author of one's own experience. This means 100% responsibility, no exceptions. The word responsibility comes from the root word to respond, to take right action, to take skillful and loving action. It means looking at yourself as the creator of your experience rather than blaming parents, teachers, countries, or politicians. When we outsource our responsibility anywhere else, it's a recipe for misery. Because if we want situations and people to change to our liking, we could be waiting for a very, very, very long time. There is no power and freedom in that. Spirituality, self-cleaning, and mind training, and changing the way you think and look at things is about finding inner peace. Making peace with everything happening in your life is the intelligent way to move forward, skillfully and lovingly, because there is no more resistance to the past. When we are relaxed and at ease, our minds and our bodies just work so much better. Our intelligence works for us. This is the immutable law of the mind. Whatever you make right on the inside will get reflected on the outside. When you resolve inner conflicts and are no longer disturbed by external situations, your outer world and situations will change to mirror your inner state. You become a co-creator rather than a reactor. You become a caretaker instead of a condemner. So when you are anything less than peaceful, remember to focus on the inside, because that's where the root of the problem lies, and you can troubleshoot accordingly. We can lean into our inner wisdom and guidance. Peace is always an inside job. Abundance is a state of mind. It is important to operate out of a state of inner fulfillment, love, and gratitude instead of inner turmoil, chaos, and compulsive negativity. In this way, our lives become an expression of flow and manifestation of abundance. The alternative script of the ego is always to suppress and to resist, and to stay within the confines of our comfort zone. This causes us to look for approval in others and the endless pursuit of external things in order to fill up this inner void. The ego does not like a vacuum, but it is in the void, in the emptiness, in the zero, that we flow freely and without inhibition. To suppress and resist means you're experiencing life half-heartedly and take only half steps. To live is to allow yourself to take full steps, experience something totally, whether it's painful or pleasurable. If you avoid any experience, you only accumulate more data, more karma, and also more suffering in the process. Because whatever we resist persists, and whatever we judge, we sustain and retain. Mind training and cleaning our consciousness and correcting our thinking is essential to transform repetitive habitual reactions into choice and to move from compulsion into awareness. Life doesn't have to be Groundhog Day. You don't have to react to the situation in the same way every time. You can change your mind at any moment and choose to think differently and be relaxed. When you change the way you look at situations, the situations you look at change. The power is always on the inside. So when you catch yourself worrying and stuck in the data, don't resist the experience. Resistance only reinforces the self-reinforcing loop of attack, judgment, defensiveness, and problems. Let go and allow your thoughts and feelings to run their course. When we embrace this fully, the data dissolves on its own. We make our state of mind more important than anything else in the world, because the quality of our mind is the quality of experience and what we broadcast to the universe and therefore attract. There is so much freedom in taking up responsibility for our internal environment. Responsibility is an offering of freedom. When you're relaxed and willing, you can engage with people that don't like you or even disagree with you. You can see opportunities where before you were lost in thought and blind to them. Colors are more vibrant, and the world takes on friendlier shades of green. You don't have to fall back into reactionary patterns when difficult emotions arise. You can take responsibility for whatever bubbles up and release the judgment, apply love to the situation. You respond with love instead of fear. Religious teachings always emphasize love because viewing everyone with love makes you inclusive. A very wise man once said, "Love your enemies. Your enemies are the memories that replay as anxiety, upset, pain, and sadness. And when you love, your enemies have no power over you." With love and acceptance, you dissolve the emotional charges that keep the memory, the enemy of the past, alive. When we truly love ourselves, we will not find any reason to punish ourselves and suffer things that happened 20 years ago. It is only when you see that suffering is self-induced that you can let go of all that is in the way of love, peace, and joy. The data that we collect is useful only if we approach it consciously without being entangled in it. You don't have to endure the software. You can rewrite, delete, and distance yourself from it. In Ho'oponopono, we use the 4 phrases as the new script. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry for whatever is going on in me that is creating stress and contributing to my sense of lack. I acknowledge responsibility for whatever I've caused, intentionally or unintentionally. I love you. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to be free of this data. I'm willing to let go and let God. I'm willing to be shown another way. When we adopt this as our new script, we remove all the restrictions to our aliveness and dissolve the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. We replace fear with gratitude. This allows abundance to flow rather than be blocked. When we remove the walls we have built around our thinking, we set our minds free to receive inspiration, to become purposeful in everything that we do. We set free our capacity for new experiences, for transformation, for miracles, and for energy and abundance to flow. To take responsibility for your state of mind is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of courage to question everything you believe, and it takes a lot of willingness and patience too. But we all have the capacity to wait if you know that the result is certain. You have always been love. Love dissolves the karma, and perfect love casts out fear. Love without trust is impossible, so trust and trust and trust. Trust in that part of you that is wise and loving, and keep clearing out the data that plays as manipulation and doubt. Remember that there is nothing wrong with you. The only thing that is wrong is unawareness. It is ignorance of who we are. So spirituality is your ability to create the distance between you and the data, between you and karma. You are not merely a collection of thoughts, opinions, judgments, feelings, impressions, sensations, programs, and conditioning. You are so much more than that. Remember, it's never situations or others that cause us upset. Your karma is not what is happening to you. Your karma is how you're reacting to situations. We can react from memories from the past, or we can respond from love and gratitude. You can write a new script that reflects the innate power to create. We can drop the old self-talk and distance ourselves from it through self-reflection and introspection. This is a journey without distance to a goal that has never changed, a journey from unwillingness to willingness, from woundedness to wisdom, from untruth to truth, from fear to love, from karma to yoga, and from data to zero. Know thyself. I love you.